Welcome to Computer Topics Made Easy. In this video, let us have a look on hardware and software approaches, top-level computer components and interactions of CPU and I/O components. Hardware and software approaches. Here we have two types of programming. One is programming in hardware and the second one is programming in software. Programming in hardware. What is programming in hardware? Actually, the data and instructions are stored in the computer system in the form of binary digits. Binary format are nothing but zeros and ones. And again, how these zeros and ones are stored in the computer? They are stored in the form of electrical pulses, on and off. That is, 1 is on state and 0 is off state. So, these binary data or the electrical pulses are stored in a set of basic logic components which can be combined in various ways. These basic logic components are nothing but the logic gates, that is AND, OR, NOT, XOR, NAND and NOR. Using these components, the arithmetic and logic operations can be performed on the data. So, to perform any particular computation, a configuration of logic components is to be designed for that particular computation to take place. Here, various components were connected in the form of programming for a desired configuration to get executed. Look at the diagram. Data is given to a hardware configuration with a sequence of arithmetic and logic function from where the output is given. A configuration to perform a particular function, say for example addition operation. Here the sequence of arithmetic and logic function is designed specifically only for addition operation. When the data is given, the addition takes place and the result is given out. If any other new operation, for example, multiplication has to be processed, then the hardware which is designed for the addition operation has to be rewired for the multiplication to take place. So, whenever any new program has to be processed, the hardware has to be rewired for each new program. The program is in the form of hardware and is termed as hardwired program. Next, programming in software. In this programming in software, there were two main components which constitute the CPU. An instruction interpreter and the next one is a module of general purpose arithmetic and logic functions. So this word general purpose arithmetic and logic functions tells that we can program the hardware or we can configure the hardware to perform various functions. See, in a general purpose configuration of arithmetic and logic functions, the hardware will perform various functions on data depending on the control signals applied to the hardware. So, in this general purpose arithmetic and logic functions, along with the data, control signals are given. So, according to the control signals, the operation takes place and the output is given out. So, the system accepts the data and control signals and produces the result. Thus, instead of rewiring the hardware for each new program, the programmer supplies a new sequence of code and hence this is called as the soft-wired program. See the diagram. One component is the instruction interpreter and the next component is the general purpose arithmetic and logic functions. So each and every time the instruction codes will be given to the interpreter and this interpreter will convert the codes into control signals and these control signals are given to this general purpose arithmetic and logic functions. And when the data is given, according to the control signals, the data is processed and the output is given. Say for example, the first instruction code can be as subtraction. So subtraction means the control signal tells the CPU to or tells the processor that we have to do the operation subtraction, and when the data is given, the data are subtracted and the output is given. If for the next time, if the addition operation is given, the control signal tells that it is the addition operation and the data is operated on the addition, and then the output is given. So each code is an instruction. So this sequence of codes or instructions is called as the software. So supply of control signals. As I said in the previous slide, a program is a sequence of steps. At each step, some arithmetic and logical operations are performed on some data. So, for each step, a new set of control signals are needed. A unique code is provided for each set of control signals and added to the general purpose hardware. This segment accepts the code and generates the control signals. The next topic, top level computer components and interactions of CPU. The top level of a computer consists of CPU, memory, and input and output components. Each component or each level consists of one or more modules, and all these components are interconnected within the computer in some way to execute programs. So, whenever any programs or any operations are executed, all these components communicates with one another. Central processing unit. The CPU exchanges data with memory. Not only the data, it also exchanges the instructions. So for this purpose, it makes use of two internal registers. One is memory address register, MAR, and the other is memory buffer register, MBR, and memory address register. So this MAR, memory address register, specifies the address in memory for the next read or write operation. So this specifies the address in the memory for the next read or write operation. MBR, memory buffer register. This contains the data which are to be written into memory or receives the data which are read from the memory. Input and output address register. This register specifies a particular I/O device. So this specifies that which input or the output devices are communicating with the CPU or the memory. Next, input output buffer. Input output buffer register. Buffers usually is used to exchange the data between an input output module and the CPU. So this buffer register stores the data, and this is used to exchange the data between an I/O module and the CPU. Program counter. This register holds the address of the next instruction to be executed. So which instruction to be executed next? So this information or address of the next instruction will be stored in this program counter. Instruction register. This register holds the instruction that are executing currently. So the current instruction register, we can say this as the current instruction register, which instruction is executing currently. So that information will be stored in this IR. Look at the block diagram of the top level computer components and its interactions. The three main top levels, CPU, main memory, and the I/O module, are connected with one another. In CPU, we have PC, the program counter, IR, instruction register, MAR, memory address register, MBR, memory buffer register, IOAR, input output address register, IOBR, input output buffer register, and then the execution unit. And then in main memory, we have the locations which are addressed from 0 to n-1. Both the data and the instructions are stored in the main memory. And in the I/O module, we have the buffers. So these buffers are used to hold the data temporarily till they are sent out. So all these three components are connected with one another through the system bus. So the communication between all these components takes place through the system bus. Memory module. Whenever we buy any system or a mobile phone, we used to talk about the RAM or the RAM memory. Memory module is the computer part that holds the random access memory. It is measured in megabytes or gigabytes. Actually, it is a circuit board that contains DRAM integrated circuits, and it is installed into the memory slot on the computer's motherboard. And as I said earlier in the previous slide, memory consists of a set of sequentially numbered locations called the address. The memory locations starts from 0 to n-1 and it is numbered sequentially. So each location or the address contains a binary number that can be interpreted as either an instruction or data. So in each location either an instruction or data can be stored. I/O module. The computer's input-output module is the interface between the central system and the outside world. So the input and output devices or the keyboard, mouse, pen drives, printers, all these are the input and output devices, and these I/O modules acts as the interface between the central system, that is the CPU, and the outside world. This transfers data from external devices to CPU and memory, and from CPU and memory to the external devices. Whenever we feed any input data to the system, all the data will be either it can be stored in the memory or it can be sent to the CPU for the processing. And after processing, again these data can be sent out to the external devices as the monitor or the printer. So the data could be transferred either from the external devices to CPU and memory. So in the memory we can store the data, and from the CPU and memory again the data can be transferred to the external devices. It contains internal buffers for temporarily holding these data until they can be sent on. So it contains the internal buffers. So whenever the input-output operations takes place, the data are stored in the buffers temporarily until they are sent to the particular devices. A link is attached to exchange control, status and data between the input-output module and the external devices. The third component is the I/O components. I/O components. Data and instructions must be put into the system to solve any problem. So for this we need input module which contains basic components for accepting the data and instructions. These data and instructions are then converted into an internal form of signals that the system can understand and use it for processing. The output module gives the result of the process. So these input and output modules together is called as the input-output components. Thank you. If you like my video, please subscribe my channel and click on the bell icon for notifications.